A phantom rides where empires fall. Welcome to a special edition of Legacy of History, where unsung giants thunder back to life. In the heart of a relentless steppe, a shadow strikes unseen. Frost-hardened ground trembles beneath thousands of hooves. Arrows scream through bitter wind. Empires shatter like glass. A man, born to nothing, etches his name into history's bones. His enemies never glimpse his face. His allies speak his name in whispers. The steppes remember him as Subutai, the ghost general of the Mongol Empire. The secret history of the Mongols, etched in the 13th century, calls him the blade of Genghis's will, a force that reshaped the world. A blacksmith's son vows loyalty. The year is 1176. A boy is born amid sparks and smoke to a blacksmith's forge on Mongolia's wind-swept plains. Subutai of the Uriankai tribe shapes iron, not ambition. His world is brutal, where winter winds cut like knives and survival demands cunning, strength, unbreakable loyalty. At 17, he kneels before Temujin, soon to be Genghis Khan. Subutai pledges his brother as a hostage, his life as a vow. Where others bring gifts of gold or horses, he brings only his mind. Genghis sees something in the boy's unflinching gaze, not just a warrior, a force of nature. Unlike Song dynasty generals, born to rank, Subutai rises from dust, as Rashid al-Din's Compendium of Chronicles notes his humble start. General crafts victory from chaos. The greatest happiness is to scatter your enemy, to drive him before you, to see his cities reduced to ashes, Genghis proclaimed. But while the Khan dreamed conquest, Subutai engineered it. Subutai rises swiftly through blood-soaked ranks. No noble blood runs in his veins, unlike Alexander or Caesar, born to privilege. Yet Genghis names him one of the 4 dogs of war, his fiercest commanders. Why? Subutai wields his mind like Damascus steel. He studies enemies, their fears. While other generals win battles, Subutai orchestrates campaigns. He moves armies like a grandmaster moves chess pieces, 3 steps ahead. His tactics defy tradition. Where Napoleonian would later rely on concentrated force, Subutai splits his forces, strikes from unseen angles, vanishes like morning mist. Genghis calls him Bahadur, unstoppable. The Mongol Yam relay system with posts every 20 miles fuels his speed, unlike Saladin's slower couriers. A ruse slays princes. In 1223, Subutai's brilliance erupts at the Kalka River. The spring air carries scents of thawing earth and fear. Rus princes, proud and fractured, face what they believe is merely his scouting force. Sun glints off their ornate armor as they advance. Subutai feigns retreat, his signature move, deliberately leaving supplies behind, luring them onto open ground where the earth is still soft from spring rains. For days, his horsemen fall back. The princes grow confident, reckless. Then, like a sprung trap, hidden cavalry emerges from the forest flanks. Arrows blot the sun. 6 princes fall. The Russian chronicler laments, only 1 in 10 return to tell the tale. Subutai's losses? Barely 100 men. He melts into the steppe, leaving only dread and whispers. Excavated arrowheads from Kalka's banks confirm the slaughter's scale. A dynasty crumbles under cunning. His greatest conquest makes Alexander's campaigns seem modest. From 1211 to 1234, Subutai wages relentless war against the Jin dynasty of northern China, a civilization with cities housing millions, where massive walls stretch beyond sight. Chinese records describe his cunning, bypassing fortified positions, severing supply lines with surgical precision, sowing chaos in agricultural lands. He turns captured Chinese engineers into weapons, building siege engines to crack Jin fortresses that had stood for centuries. Where Napoleon failed at Moscow, Subutai succeeds at Kaifeng. The imperial capital falls in 1233. The Jin, 1 million strong with technologies far advanced beyond Mongolia's, crumble under Subutai's precision. He does not just win battles, he redefines warfare itself. Kaifeng's breached walls, scarred with siege marks, bear witness as UN records detail. A tempest sweeps the west. Feel the bitter cold of a European winter in 1241. Snow blankets forests as Subutai, now serving Ogedi, Genghis's heir, brings his tempest to the west. At Legnica, amid sleet and fog, Polish and German knights in gleaming armor chase his fleeing Mongols across frozen ground. The knight's breath forms clouds in the frigid air as they charge. A ruse. Subutai's hidden archers suddenly encircle them, arrows raining from all sides. The knights perish, their heavy plate armor becoming metal coffins in the trampled snow. Days later, at Mohi, Hungary's great plain stretches before him. Subutai faces King Belafort's massive army across the Sayo River. While European commanders would rest, Subutai crosses the icy waters by night, his engineers constructing bridges under darkness, catapults hurling burning pitch to illuminate the shocked Hungarian camp. By dawn, the Hungarian army lies obliterated. Buda burns, Pest falls, Krakow's towers crumble. Subutai's riders reach Vienna's gates, the heart of Europe exposed. Christendom trembles, calls for prayer. Europe stands defenseless, yet Subutai turns back. Ogedei has died in distant Karakoram. Duty calls him home. Mohi's bridge remnants, unearthed today, confirm his engineering feat. The legacy shapes warfare and whispers. Military historian Stephen Turnbull wrote, Subutai's campaigns would be studied at military academies for centuries, if only the West had properly recorded them. Subutai's genius lies in deception, what Chinese strategist Sun Tzu called the way of war. Psychological warfare is his art form. Intelligence networks spread tales of Mongol hordes 10 times their actual size. Extra campfires glow to create phantom armies. Small units raid villages in widely scattered locations, forcing enemies to disperse their forces. Then his main army crushes them piece by piece. He coordinates assaults across distances that would stagger modern generals, synchronizing attacks like a conductor leads an orchestra. Most remarkably, using nothing but smoke signals, relay riders on hardy steppe ponies, and intimate knowledge of terrain, he manages to strike 2 separate nations on 2 different fronts on the same day. A feat that even radio communications would later struggle to achieve. No general before him had ever commanded multiple theaters of war simultaneously. Subutai did and won them all. His tactics influence Ottoman campaigns and modern blitzkrieg, as military manuals cite Mongol feigned retreats. When Napoleon abandoned his army in Russia, where Alexander's men mutinied in India, Subutai's loyalty never falters. Under Ogedei, Subutai leads over 60 campaigns across terrain that would make the Alps seem gentle. He conquers 32 nations and wins 65 pitched battles, never once defeated when in command. No commander in history rivals his geographical scope. From the misty shores of the Caspian Sea to the rocky Pacific coast, from Siberia's frozen forests to Persia's sun-baked plateaus, his outnumbered armies shatter forces tenfold their size. He is no Khan, no king. He is a servant. A blade, honed to perfection for the Mongol dream. The Mongol postal system, spanning Eurasia, owes its efficiency to his campaigns fostering Silk Road trade. Yet Subutai's triumphs carve deep wounds across continents. Cities that stood for millennia lie in ashes. Persian chronicler Juvayni walks Samarkand's broken streets and writes, "They came, they destroyed, they burned, they slew, they plundered, and they departed." Ubara's grand libraries, reports of ancient wisdoms drifting on hot desert winds. Mass graves scar earth once fertile with crops. The Khwarezmian Empire, jewel of the Silk Road, is erased from maps. Survivors whisper of rivers running red, of fields salted so nothing grows for generations. Exact tolls fade in time, but hundreds of thousands perish. Subutai does not savor slaughter. He serves his Khan's will with cold efficiency. But the scars endure. Kingdoms vanish. Cultures dim. Languages die. Samarkand's charred foundations, excavated today, mourn the loss. Military historian David Nicole observes, Genghis Khan may have been the architect of the Mongol Empire, but Subutai was its master builder. Why does Subutai's name whisper so faintly through history's halls? While Napoleon commissioned self-glorifying paintings and Caesar wrote his own commentaries, Subutai recorded nothing. He raised no monuments, minted no coins with his image. A true nomad, he served his Khan, not his fame. After Ogeday's death, Subutai returns to the simplicity of Mongolia's grasslands. He dies quietly around 1248, his ger tent overlooking the same steppes where he first learned to ride. His deeds, locked in Mongol scrolls and enemy lamentations, remain largely unknown to Western scholars. Europe, scarred by his raids, names the Mongols Tartars, demons from Tartarus, a faceless swarm. Subutai, the brilliant mind behind the tempest, fades into shadow. Stand on the windswept steppe now. Feel the grass bend beneath your feet where his horses once thundered. Hear the silence that once carried the screams of falling empires. His echo still lingers, silent, precise, eternal. The wind still whispers his strategies across continents he conquered. He was not a tyrant seeking glory like Napoleon, not a noble-born conqueror like Alexander. He was the ghost behind the greatest war machine in history. The general who bent the world, then disappeared into the endless blue sky of his homeland. This is Subutai, the ghost general, forgotten but unrivaled. His shadow stretches to modern warfare, from cavalry tactics to psychological operations, a legacy etched in every strategist's playbook. If his story stirs your blood as it once stirred the dust of distant battlefields, join us on this journey through time. Subscribe to Legacy of History, where we resurrect the past's unsung giants and give voice to their silenced achievements. Follow us across the steppes of forgotten greatness. Like Subutai's riders, we'll take you places you never expected to go, show you truths history tried to bury, and reveal the faces behind history's greatest shadows. Ride with us into eternity.